This is a sharp bag, too.
It sure is sharp.
I know.
You are sharp.
I know. I used to be.
Here, I'll hold the other parts. I'll hold the bags and the glue bag. Yeah. Okay. So we're rolling. So now
How should we go about this?
Tell us the story of it.
Of what?
The story of that.
There ain't no story.
Like where they came from. You have to, like, the audience wouldn't know what it is.
Well, the way, we're not on nothing now, are we? The way we could do this, I could say, do you remember when Sammy worked with an open shirt and you would see a necklace around his neck? I said, well, I got that just before he died. Now, where would I would just have it here or what?
Well, Luke, should she hold it up?
Yeah, I would say that you could just hold it up kind of something like this, as though you were showing it to somebody, but not, you don't have to be...
Well,
like,
this will be connected with something else, right?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so then we can go into this line.
Yes, exactly.
We can go
I can
in.
always cut in and out of it.
Okay.
So if you could turn it towards us, then we can see. Yeah, right.
Because I can say to whoever I'm talking to.
Yes.
Do you remember when Sammy used to come on the stage and had an open shirt? And you remember that diamond thing that was, that diamond nut thing? Excuse me.
We'll start again.
Start again.
Can't get, honey, you just can't get her, she can't get rid of it. She's just down to earth and she's terrible. Well, anyway, I'm gonna do it one more time.
Okay.
Do you remember when Sammy was on the stage and before he went over to get a cigarette, he would open up his shirt and you would see this diamond necklace on him? Well, just before he died, I was out in California and he gave it to me. Would you like to see it? Then I'd show it, right? How does that sound, baby?
How is that? Is that good for you?
That's great. Tell us about what's in the bracelet and the necklace.
He said what?
Tell us about the diamonds in the necklace and how it's made and everything. Is it?
I don't know. Oh, I know it's from Gucci. I don't know how. He bought it here in New York and he gave it to me with a bracelet. And I'm afraid to wear it, really, because I don't want nobody to take it. But I do have it insured. So it is gorgeous. Can you see it?
Sure can. That's great.
Does it look good?
That was just terrific.
Okay. Now let's try it one more time. And don't, the only thing that was wrong about the time that you did it is
you weren't looking at Carole.
You weren't looking at me, and you were saying, and so now if I show it to you this way, so you don't have to do that. We'll just don't add, and now I'll say this. Do you know?
Do what, darling?
When you did the presentation before, you told the story beautifully about how he would go and get a cigarette and open his shirt and he had the necklace. That part's great. But then you said to me, and so now if I show it to you this way, you don't have to say that, just say, and this is the necklace, and he gave it to me, and the bracelet, and
that he gave it to me just before he died.
Okay. Okay, let's do it again.
Awesome.
Now tell me one more time.
Do you remember when Sammy would be on...
Okay, I got it. All right, darling?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Do you remember when Sammy would be on the stage and he would kind of relax and he'd go over and get a cigarette? Then he would open up his shirt. He would have this necklace on with all the diamonds around his neck. Well, just before he died, he gave it to me. And here it is. Isn't it gorgeous? but I'm afraid to wear it because I don't want nobody to take it. How is that?
That was great. That was great. We had a little truck
banging
rumbling.
truck
Yeah.
outside.
Huh?
Let's try it again.
Can we
had
do
a
it
little,
one more
time?
Yeah, it was. We got a bad truck, just in the middle of.
You got a bad one?
Noise.
bad
There was
truck.
a rumble outside. Okay.
The same way, just as you did it. It'd be great.
Okay. Do you remember when Sammy would be on the stage and he would walk over and get a cigarette and light it and open up his shirt? You would see a necklace around on him that had diamonds on it. And it also has a bracelet. Well, just before Sammy died, he gave it to me. And here it is. Isn't it gorgeous? How is that, darling?
That's fine. That's fine. We can definitely use one of those.
Okay. Tell
We're
me
great.
a little bit though. Remember, you said that you put it very beautifully to me once. You said that he knew that you would want it. You said that he was probably thinking about you.
No, I don't remember saying that. But anyway, we were talking about, you said evidently he loved you. You and I in a conversation, you said evidently he loved you. I said, I think he did too. I said, then it's retribution. We use that word.
Right.
And he figured that this is the way we were talking this way now. This wasn't for this.
Right.
But that's the way it,
With these on.
oh, well, I
There
don't know.
must be a lot of pictures of him
Oh, it
wearing
is.
this, right? He had a very small wrist.
Well, I can get this on this one. On this hand, I can get it. But on this one, this is a bad hand, you know.
Uh-huh.
Well, we got to show this again.
One
You
more
don't want to see this no more.
Just one more time.
Huh?
I think it's a very beautiful connection between you and him. That I think because it's so identified with him. You know, I mean, just remember seeing him with it all the time. So let's just try it one more time. Are we hearing buses?
Of course. If you hear buses, I hear buses.
Just wait 1 second till they go.
Still no
Yeah.
buses, 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 buses. It's quiet.
One more time. Go.
I know that if you ever went to a club and saw Sammy, he would relax and walk over and get a cigarette and open up his shirt. On his neck, he would have this. I don't know.
That was
Take your
beautiful.
time. It's
Take
okay.
your
The noise
time.
outside. It's.
Huh?
That was beautiful.
That was
just
fine. Take
that
your
was
time
nice because you
because-
were you were just taking your time with it, and that was fine. Go ahead, do it again. That was beautiful. That was the best yet.
That's why they don't want me in no movies. It would be too many takes.
No,
Oh, you know what
okay.
happens? If you say one piece and then you stop to collect your thoughts, maybe we'll cut to a picture of Sammy on the stage.
And then come
we
back.
And we can take the words you say and put them underneath the footage.
Well, yeah, I know. I see
And,
that.
you know, and we can take that space out, you know, so that it
Exactly.
sounds like you're talking right through without a
Exactly.
break. So
Well, I know that you have gone to different clubs and seen Sammy. But at times when he wanted a cigarette, he would walk over to the piano, light up his cigarette, and open up his shirt. And he would have this diamond around his neck. It also has a bracelet. Well, just before Sammy died, he gave this to me. And I'll keep it forever. How was that?
That's very nice. It's the bracelet and the necklace. Did he wear them all the time?
No, he wore this only. You would see this only when he opened up his shirt.
When he wasn't performing, did he wear it?
No. No, but you see, maybe he wouldn't open up his shirt. Maybe he'd walk on the stage with the shirt open. But you would see this.
Did he, so when he was off stage, he didn't wear all that jewelry?
Oh, no.
That's
No, that's why a lot of it was stolen. Or misplaced or something.
You know,
Because he had people that were supposed to look out for him, but I don't know.
you know, they used to kid him so much about wearing the jewelry. I always assumed that he always wore it in everyday life.
Oh, no. How you going to walk around at 2 o'clock in the afternoon with all this crap on? He used to kid about it, like he would do a joke about being up in Harlem with it. But then he said, and when it was something that he would say, that when they sucked me up, it was on Broadway or on Park Avenue. You know, he would make up like that it wasn't only the blacks that suck up, you know.
So when he was just being a private person, was he a very plain person? Was he a very simple dresser when he wasn't performing?
Well, darling, you see, I tell you this now. You know, I wasn't around Sammy that much.
But I mean, when you saw
This is not being taped, right, darling?
When you were...
I never lived anywhere where Sammy lived. Like, 'cause he lived on the West Coast, I lived here. If he came here, he would be in a hotel. I would go over to the hotel to see him. I'd walk in there, he might have a handkerchief around his head. He was down to earth. But I mean, for him to be out in the street with me, I wasn't out there that much. I was either getting in a cab or getting out the cab or whatever.
Right. Because, you know, entertainers have strange habits. Like Jerry Lewis is always dressed in these same colors and shirts all the time.
Everything's side to
Everything's side to vor. Even when he's not performing, he's always, and I always assumed.
Yeah, but did you ever go up in the hotel room with him?
Oh yeah, he's always all done up.
Well, I mean, you mean in the beginning and for breakfast he's got that crap? Well, and my son wasn't like that. Because you could walk in, he would have his robe on, coming out one bedroom or going into another, whatever, when he was in the hotel, you know what I mean? Or even when I was at the house, when I was used to stay at the house, he would be like that when he was there, you know.
Which was rarely. Getting back to Sammy for a second in terms of girls, was Sammy's taste in women generally like my quiet, not flashy women, or was he equally interested in very kind of aggressive, like?
Well, I don't know, darling. I'll say this: if he was having a party. You know, I don't mean I mean a party like with me there or his wife or everybody there. The showgirls would come in. But now what happened after that, I don't know. But I have never seen him around anybody as nice and as quiet as mine. You know.
Did Sammy ever say to you that he wished that he had gone to school? Did he ever feel that?
Well, I don't know how he would feel now because, you know, but listening to him, I think that he would have loved to have gone to school. But I don't think he would have been any smarter than he was before he died, if he had gone to school. Because I see a lot of college fellas and girls that can't touch Sammy when it comes to different things.
Do you think that it was that he felt it more acutely when he was like going to the White House, or do you think it was just for himself that he wished that he might have gone to school?
I don't know, darling. I wouldn't know how he, like he wouldn't come out and say to me, I wished I had gone to school. Maybe if, like I told you the other day, like I tried to wait until he got 21 years old for him to come to me, or I could go to him and say, you heard your father's part, but now listen to mine. But I never did that, because during that time is when he started having so much on his shoulders. I mean, there was people over here wanting him. There was people over there wanting him. But I mean, at that time, I wouldn't bother him. But I waited too late, because when I was thinking about going out there to sit when he got sick, who was going to bother him when he got sick? I wouldn't,
Did he try to downplay when he got sick? Did he downplay it?
No, from what I can understand, he was in California when he got sick, and I was out here. I was in New York. But from what I can understand, from hearsay, that when he really got real bad off, he didn't want nobody to see him. Because he was only sick 8 months. Real sick, I mean.
Let me ask you another question. We talked a lot yesterday about bias and prejudice and so forth. You knew Sammy when he was in New York, when he was in Golden Boy, when he was in Mr. Wonderful. He was here in New York, so you saw him probably more at that time. You told me the story yesterday about him going to the Copa and people making remarks about Mai and everything. Did he ever talk to you about the fact that he was angry that he had worked so hard for Kennedy and that Kennedy...
No, he never.
He
never brought it up. And I never brought it up because I felt more for Sammy than anybody did, because I knew that Sammy had so many people on him. Now, why would I bring up something that hurt his feelings again?
But, a lot of guys whine about things and go, for instance, I know from people that I've spoken to about Sinatra, that Sinatra used to go back over things that guys did to him in the 40s. He was always whining. Oh, well, remember this guy, and always
Jerry.
Remembering. Jerry Lewis. He'll tell you all the people, they did this to him, they did that to him. Sammy had a lot of reasons.
Well, you see, if that could have happened to you talking to Sammy, you could get this. But you see, I don't know how this boy felt. You know what I mean? Because there's some things that he would say to you, and I would be here with you, but he wouldn't say it to me. You understand what I don't mean?
He never said it publicly either, because these people were also quoted, and I never remember seeing Sammy quoted complaining about anything.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how many tapes you got of him, but I know I've seen him on tapes. I don't know where they are. Because anytime I read anything about Sammy doing something with, like we're doing, I would call those people up and ask them to send me the tape. But I know there's a lot of things that when Sammy talk, I don't know who I'm talking about, what person I'm talking about. But I know Sammy has did a lot of, one-on-one with people.
That's interesting. Did Sammy ever talk about Martin Luther King?
Oh my goodness! He went to the march, and then one time when I first met Martin Luther King, we were at, what is that place on 57th Street? Carnegie Hall. The Rat Pack was there, and Martin Luther King, and Sammy did something for him, for money, getting money for him. And that's when I first met Martin Luther King. And this was another darling man that when I was in his presence, I felt like holy, like being in a Catholic church. I really did. Because that's the awe, whatever it is that he's got, that Martin Luther King had, you know.
And the Rat Pack played that in Carnegie?
Oh, they were all there. Oh, yes, they were there at Carnegie Hall quite a while ago.
I got to get pictures of that.
61, 3 years before Selma.
Well, he knows.
Yeah.
Interesting.
When nobody knew who he was.
Huh?
When nobody knew who Martin Luther King was. I mean, he wasn't the, well, he's
No.
of the bus boycott.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But it hadn't been yet the March on Washington.
What year did you say that was?
61. I couldn't believe it. Shirley MacLaine wrote about it in her book, that they were...
Well, I know it was quite a while. It was quite a while. Because and then he went on the march with them, and the fella, there was a gentleman that, he was like, to me, you're not putting this on nothing.
No, I'm just...
No.
Okay. To me, he was like a hoodlum, this man. But he was a nice person that when they went on the march, he was right there by Sammy, taking care of Sammy, because Sammy, it was like Mutt and Jeff.
Did Sammy have bodyguards?
Well, I mean, he didn't have that many. He had one fella, you know. I don't know where did I hear he was. The last one that he had, I think, is working for Quincy Jones. I think.
Right.
And his drummer, the little fella, he's working for Tony Bennett.
Did you ever meet Count Basie with Sammy when he was recording with Count Basie?
Baby, I met Count Basie before Count Basie was Count Basie. I met when I don't know where he came from, because he's from Jersey, but he was with a band that was like, I don't know whether it was it was in Georgia. It was one of those towns that little bands come from, and they came into Philadelphia where I was working. I was like in a chorus, and we would do a show today, and tonight we would rehearse for the next show. And Count Basie was in there. I knew Count Basie very well before he got to be a star.
Sammy did some of his best recordings with Count Basie.
Well, that's when Basie got to be Basie.
Did you like that work that he did with Basie?
Oh, I liked anything that Sammy did, really. I was very prejudiced as far as my child was concerned.
Did Sammy ever take any lessons from anybody that you know of? Did Sammy ever take lessons from anybody?
Nobody. Nobody. I got people, I think I told you the other day we were talking. I was on a, what was that thing I told you I was on, getting money for somebody?
Telethon?
Telethon, and I walked off the thing and went around the corner, and there was a little boy there saying, oh, you know, I knew him. I went to school with him. Sammy never went to school a day in his life. But then he got many doctorate degrees. You know that.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that a lot of schools gave him, he was Dr. Davis? Well, you better get all of this from Shirley. Yeah. Did you know that, darling?
Yeah, I think so. I think Yale University gave him a Doctor of Arts.
Somewhere out, you know, in the southern schools or something.
Oh, yeah, I bet them too, but he has like a dozen of them, right?
Huh?
He's got like a dozen. A dozen
Quite a
honorary
few,
degrees.
darling,
Yeah.
quite a few. And that's how I always say, if your name is something, because here's a person never went to school a day in his life, and they giving him a doctorate degree. Why? Because he's Sammy Davis Jr.
Well, you said it
So he
very.
wrote the book.
You said it very well the other day that like it was his talent that got him everywhere. His talent got him to the Queen. His talent got him in the White House. Right? I mean, there's a thing in his book where he talks about, in his first book, about you coming to the theater and him, like he was performing. And he was telling you how he could dance and so forth. He says that in his book. I don't remember how old he's supposed to be, but he's little. He's like 5 or 6. And I think it's probably almost around the same time that you said that Will said, "This is your mother," and he said, "I have a mother."
Well, this was in Philadelphia, but he wasn't working. But I have been I have been somewhere with him where he was working, and I got on the stage and did a time step with him, but that was, I don't know how long ago,
Really?
But I mean, it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't no pictures taken or nothing like that.
Was he a little kid then?
Well, he was, when you know how big he was when he did with Ethel Waters?
Yeah, that big.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot that's been written that said that any time he ever saw anybody do something, he could copy it completely. He could mimic any act.
Oh, yeah, well, I told you that. I told you that yesterday about Buck and Bubbles. I think it must have been Boston or Canada. I was up there with Buck and Bubbles, and he had been there, and he was in a little club. And when we got through doing our show, we were invited to this club. And when Bubbles saw Sammy get up on the stage and do his routine, my God, he came back to me the next day and said, "I don't mind him being here, but keep him out the wings."
Yeah, because if he saw it, he could do it, right?
Oh, well, he did copy that. I mean, he got it, baby. He got it.
Hey, how about the...
Born by probably certainly one of the most famous entertainers of the 20th century, up there with Chaplin and everyone else. It's got a great history. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what makes it so important. Not that it's a pretty necklace, but it was his. I'll give it to you when we're finished.
Oh, don't.
Okay.
I'll get it, darling.
Okay. So, all right. So what are we doing now? Oh,
I think
we're going
we're
to talk
down to
about...
2 minutes on the camera.
We're going to